Hello, my name is Charles Tackett. I'm going to be introducing you to the Ohio Resident Educators Program through my PowerPoint presentation. The Ohio Resident Educators Program was implemented in 2011. It is a comprehensive 4-year program. The goal of this program is to assist beginning teachers through mentoring and professional development opportunities to enhance their teaching. This program is to take place in the first year of their teaching career. The Resident Educators Program is designed to improve teacher retention along with enhanced teacher quality. They also focus on student improvement and test scores. This program is viewed as a pathway to enhance their professional learning growth. The Resident Educators Program is geared towards effective practices. They in turn start to develop excellence in their teaching growth. Teachers successfully complete program requirements in the RESA, which is Resident Educator Summative Assessment, in year 3 of the program. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, the RESA component of this program takes place in year 3 of the 4-year program. In the 4th year of the program, you will do Exploring Leadership. After the Resident Educators Program is complete, the teacher is eligible for a 5-year professional teaching license. Now we're going to go to the eligibility for the program. Eligibility: you have to be in the possession of the correct Ohio Educator's License. You have currently been employed in the appropriate educational setting, was in charge of developing and teaching students pre-K-12, and worked in a school setting for at least 120 days of the school year. Resident educators are required to complete the Ohio Teachers Evaluation System, OTES, which is a self-assessment and growth plan every year. Like I mentioned, this is a yearly thing. It has many layers. Your plan has to be approved by your assistant principal, assistant superintendent, and superintendent. They sign off on this, and then you go through OTES, and you use your username, password, and you sign off on that it is approved. Next step in the Resident Educators Program is mentoring. Mentoring takes place in the first 2 years of the program. The resident educator is paired up with an ODE state certified mentor approved through your school district. The mentor's job is to work closely with the resident educator on completing the requirements necessary for the program. Resident educator and mentor work closely together on the teaching and learning cycle. The components within this cycle are plan, teach, assess, reflect, and revise. And they're constantly using the teaching and learning cycle throughout their mentoring. Within the teaching and learning cycle, when planning, you need to be using the Ohio Learning Standards and developing appropriate goals and objectives. Within the teaching, you need to have smooth transitions throughout your lesson and the ability to adapt during your lessons. Assessing, you are looking over student data and how to use it more effectively in your teaching. And revising, you reflect on your lessons during and after, and I feel like I'm always doing that. Tasks that the resident educator will have to complete focus on the following areas: self-assessment, goal setting, reflection of their work, and decision making within your work. And all these relate back to the teaching and learning cycle. And these are all necessary tasks that need to be completed in the first 2 years of the program. They will be working with the mentor on constructing effective lesson plans for their students. It is also required to break down student data along with their students' work and test scores. And we've already mentioned that. That's going to be taking place as well within the teaching and learning cycle. The resident educator's mentor is guiding their tasks to be accomplished in these 2 years. All school districts have different policies and procedures for their resident educator. Know what your school district is expecting you to accomplish is the key. Understanding the assessment. RESA is scored by licensed Ohio professional teachers who have at least 10 years of teaching experience in the field. RESA educators are required to pass a methodical certification test. Assessors review and provide feedback that is in line with RESA domains and criteria. This requires one individual lesson, which is supplied content for the lesson, required to video you teaching your lesson, and you answer a series of short questions about the lesson. Next, we're going to focus on preparing for the RESA. Resident educators obtain assistance in refining their reflections and looking at their decision making in their classroom instruction. Resident educators need to realize that these skills are important in preparing for performance-based tasks required within the RESA assessment. As I stated before, the RESA assessment is required to be taken in the third year of the program. However, some resident educators are granted prior teaching credit and can take the assessment in the second year of the program. Through the RESA assessment, they analyze and reflect on their teaching. The resident educators are allowed to choose their best lessons and practices that they have used to submit into the RESA as evidence. Through the year, the resident educator receives score reports that provide important feedback. The resident educator can use that feedback to work with their mentor in ways to improve their results. So then they go back to their mentor for more help. If your score reports are low and need to be improved, you only have the current school year to improve your scores. If you're unable to pass RESA due to your assessments being lower than expected, then you are required to take it again the next school year. Year 4 of the Resident Educators Program focuses on exploring leadership. School districts set specific activities for teachers participating in the program. The districts also determine the policies and procedures for these documented activities. The Ohio Department of Education has a very helpful online module called Learn to Lead. You can access Learn to Lead at the attached tab. To completely access the program, you will need to have your Ohio ID account information, username, password. And also, the goal of Exploring Leadership is to engage the resident educator in exploring and thinking about all aspects of leadership. Final step within this whole program. After meeting all the required steps in the program, the resident educator is allowed to apply to further their teaching license to a 5-year teaching license. I have constructed a quizzes for you to take over my PowerPoint presentation. Please click on the quizzes link and use the game code 4719180. The quiz consists of 5 multiple choice questions and 1 open-end question. Should take you about 3 to 4 minutes to complete. This slide contains the resources I use on my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you for listening to my PowerPoint presentation on the Ohio Resident Educators Program. Thank you.